Hey folks, this is BestInSlot and welcome back to our Jurassic World Evolution 2 Mods of the Week Spotlight series, or should I say Mods of the week and a half or so. Of course, we took a little bit of a break for Christmas, and because of that break, there are now 11 very cool new mods that we're going to check out in today's video. You can see quite a few of them there on your screen. We'll be checking out those buildings in a little bit, but before we dig into anything, a quick disclaimer as per usual: mods can sometimes break your game. You know, when you install a new mod, it might not be compatible with another mod, and you load an old save file, yada yada yada. You know the drill by now, but especially when there's a big update. If mods do cause a problem with your game, it's not my fault, it's not the mod maker's fault, and most importantly, it's not Frontier's fault. Disclaimer done. Asmodeus isn't here, he's still immensely hungover, just like myself. Right, so let's get started. We have a ton of mods to check out today, as I say, and we're going to check out the buildings very soon, but we're going to kick things off with a new species. We're going to take a look at this Vestastosaurus Rex. Okay, so let's maybe focus on this one over here, because this one is a beauty. So this is the first part of the Skull Island Theropod pack. We'll be taking a look at the other dinosaur in this in just a moment. This is by Viral Cyclops and a bunch of other very talented people. And the V-Rex, this is its default, so King Kong 05, Peter Jackson's King Kong 05 kind of skin. Looks absolutely fantastic, you know, covered in the scales, those huge scoots down the back, that big, thick, square jaw. V-Rex is a funny old design to me, because I think if it came out now, people would be like, well, it's a little bit Jurassic Worldy, it's a little bit over the top, it's a little bit monstrous. But because it came out in what I consider one of the greatest films ever made, and it was, you know, before dinosaurs had kind of lent entirely in that direction, people give it a bit of a pass. And I'm okay with that. I love the V-Rex deeply. This comes with a ton of different colours, including, of course, this absolutely crazy one you can see over here. I just want to showcase some variety. But there's a ton of different skin colours for this thing when you go to make it. So definitely experiment and find some cool ones. But we also have the Nanuksaurus. Now, if you find that a little bit confusing, you are not alone. I was thinking, well, why is there a Nanuksaurus on Skull Island? That doesn't make sense. So, for those who don't know, the Nanuksaurus was originally the name for the Indominus Rex. It's one of a few. They was called the Diabolus Rex at one point as well. But the Nanuksaurus was one of the iterations of the Indominus Rex, and it looked very similar to this, with this horn pulling back here, the spines, a little bit of a sail going on. Very monstrous, very horror focused, rather than the slightly more simplified design that the Indominus Rex ended up with. So it's very much a Jurassic World concept design. So how come we have it here in a Skull Island Theropod pack? Well, you may have seen on my channel, we played earlier on this year, one of the worst major releases ever seen in Kong, Rise of Kong, I think it was called, Skull Island Rise of Kong, the video game. It was dreadful. And one of the theropods in Rise of Kong was this. It was this theropod right here. This model is pulled from Rise of Kong. So I think the implication behind this pack is that basically the Kong developers have seen the Nanuksaurus concept art and thought, oh, we'll use that for our theropod design. So Viral Cyclops and the people they worked with decided that, well, it's a Nanuksaurus, sure, but because it's in the Kong game, we can kind of put it in the Skull Island Theropod pack. But they've given it the skin colours from the concept art for the Nanuksaurus, like this one, and there's also the sort of yellowish, stripish one that we saw in the concept art for the Nanuksaurus as well. So it's a weird mixing of Jurassic World and Kong Skull Island, or Skull Island Rise of Kong, and Skull Island in general, thanks to the addition of these dinosaurs into that Rise of Kong game. Now, before we move on to the buildings and some new species, these dinosaurs over here, they need some food. They need feeding. So let's check out a couple of brand new feeders. Over here, we have the reindeer feeder. So both of these are by Viral Cyclops as well. Now, this is a Christmas edition, which I hadn't seen before. There's no pictures. And that's why it's the Christmas edition, because it's got a bright red Rudolph nose. You can download a version of this, of course, without the Rudolph nose, but of course this is the reindeer taken from Planet Zoo. I wish that was, tell you what, let's do a very quick check. Is that bioluminescent? I'm hoping it is. That might be a little bit optimistic, but let's just find out. Ah, sadness. That would have been very cool. Anyways, we've got ourselves a new reindeer feeder, and we also have a baby Gaur. Oh, they're off. So let's watch this first. Now, this is probably going to be a little bit funky. Yep, because it's not only modded food, but a modded dinosaur. And that tends to make feeding and fighting and stuff like that a bit... Where's my baby gone? Baby, come back! Need to show you off to YouTube, baby. So this is also by Viral Cyclops. This one is bringing across a mod from Planet Zoo. I believe by Leaf and some other people. I don't tend to go for the extras in case I leave someone out. But yeah, another really cool feeder, like a little, bovine baby creature ready to be consumed. We've been looking for a cow feeder for a long time, and this is the closest we have for now. Look at his little tippy taps. Oh, buddy. You're going to get eaten alive. That's sad. Right. More dinosaurs to check out first. So our next one is a new cosmetic for the Cryolophosaurus. So this is the feathered Cryolophosaurus by Lego Craft Boy, and it is just meant to be a slightly more paleo-accurate version of the Cryolophosaurus. We don't know for sure that Cryolophosaurus was feathered, but given its size, given the frigid temperatures it lived in and stuff like that, it is likely, I would suggest, that it was feathered, at least partially feathered, if not entirely. And as I say, this is a new cosmetic. You don't lose anything, it doesn't replace anything, so you can have this and your other standard Cryolophosaurus if you wanted to mix things up depending on your habitat. You see the fur there just bobbling in the wind a little bit. It is more like fur than feathers, just there, downy sort of feathering to keep them warm in those frigid temperatures. And this one in particular, I really like the coloration they've got across the feathers here. The feathering is just a shader sort of put over the top to sort of generate a length of feather and stuff like that, I'm assuming. So they can kind of design the standard dinosaur skins and then layer the shader over the top. And you can see how this would work either way. But yeah, it looks really good. Just feathery, stripy, colourful little critter. Looks fantastic. Good shout to Lego Craft Boy. We're going to check out one new cosmetic before we move on. I'm not sure why we've done it in this order, but I've written it down, so I'm going to stick to my order, lest something go terribly wrong. This is a new cosmetic for the Utah Raptor. So the Utah Raptor is getting a lot of love in the modding community. I think it's pretty obvious why, because it must be such a fantastic model and design to work with on a basic level. This is Utah Raptor Wheat Edition, and it's got a few changes to the model just to make it a little bit more paleo accurate and stuff like that. So we can, if you want to stand up, we can point those out. One of the main things is the jaw around here. The jaw has been thickened and bulked up a little bit. It's just made the head a little bit thicker and bulkier in general. The other major change I would say is I believe the wings have been fixed. The weight painting for the wings on the Utah Raptor is a little bit of a mess on the original Frontier version. So when it drinks and stuff like that, the feathers kind of splay out wildly all over the place, which is a bit of a shame, and hopefully it gets fixed. But they do work fine on the Wheat Edition. So this is, again, a new cosmetics, a new body morph, so it thickens up the Utah Raptor, but you don't lose the original version. So you could even do, you'd have your thicker ones and your thinner ones. You could have like a sexual dimorphism going on, because we've got some, pretty decent crossover in terms of the skins. There are 8 different skins for this. 4 that have resemblance to birds, and 4 that resemble paleo media. So I believe this is the InGens one. Yeah, so you can see, InGen, it looks like the original Jurassic Park Raptor. Over here, we've got this absolutely stunning one here, Impossibilis, which I believe is based on a bird, but I can't remember which one, but looks really cool. Again, I love that people are making all these unique cosmetics, these standalone cosmetics. It means each dinosaur can have such insane variety in its patterns and colours, and this is prime example of that. That looks really, really cool. Those stripes and those dashes and that, that very emo teardrop sort of inky effect beyond the eye. And then we've got another one over here. I just kind of picked 3 at random. This is the Aventus one, which I think is meant to be a paleo media one rather than a... I can't remember what this is from. I do recognise it. Is it Dinosaur King or something like that? I don't know. Anyways, bright purple, bright yellow, very over the top. But if you're into whatever it's from, then that probably suits you pretty well. So, yeah, just nice to, if nothing else, we get 8 new skins for the Utahraptor, which is really cool. The changes are minimal because the Utahraptor is already really well designed. But there are 5 or 6 in there, you know, finger lengths and stuff like that. It's nitpicky paleo kind of stuff, but, you know, I love that kind of thing sometimes. Right, so... whilst all that's been going on, you have inevitably seen in the background some balloons and lots of different buildings. This is 2 new mods by Sir Zero John. So we're going to look at the buildings first. This is the JPOG Buildings mod, and it is insane. It adds 39 decorations and buildings to the game. All of them remodeled to fit Jurassic World Evolution 2, while still keeping the texture and kind of low poly aesthetic of, not this one, this is actually the wrong one, low poly aesthetic of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. And these are all functional, so you can see here we've got the JPOG viewing tower, which is going to look out over the exhibit, and this works fine. People do climb up that. We've got the viewing vent over here. As you can see, we've got a ton of buildings. We've got the Ranger team over here with that classic Jurassic Park Operation Genesis helicopter. We've got shops over there, I'll show you in a second. We've got the rest area over here. We've got the cleaner station down here as well. And we've got a lovely JPOG entrance building. We've got a new fountain. We've got the JPOG speakers, which actually do make music. We've got the flags that sort of waft in the wind a little bit. We've got the entrance to the, this is, you would enter the, you know, the viewing dome and stuff like this. With this, you may have seen the viewing dome while we were over here. Also got a visitor center. And there's the JPOG viewing dome. Again, works perfectly fine. So we can actually click this and show... okay, not that. It's not, I'm not going to say it's great because of the position. There we go. The JPOG viewing dome, which just looks really cool. It looks JPOG-y, but a little bit of Jurassic World-y as well. Looks fantastic. And as I said, we do also have... oh, you can also get like all these buildings in decoration form. That's why there's so many decorations, because you can have them in this form and you can have them in decoration form. We've got a restroom over here. We've got the huge, chunky, love the design of this emergency shelter, because it really looks like an emergency shelter. And over here we've got the shop, and this is, I think, pretty incredible coding. So if I'm going to show you this in action, if we go into guests and we scroll down a little bit and we find our JPOG shops, let's just stick this over here. So when you put this down, this is what it's going to look like. A little bit boring. However, we can go into architecture and we can change along all our different architecture options, like so. So it changes between the colour of the roof, naked and naked yellow. I'm personally a naked yellow kind of person. None of these do anything as far as I can tell. And then you've got the burger, the rotating cup and the giant inflated burger. You've got the Tyrannosaurus Rex inflatable up there as well. And very cool, you've got a rotating Barbasol can. And of course you've got those with, you've got another drinks one here with the Raptor hanging over the top. And you've got all these with the alternate roof style as well. So altogether you've got 10 different varieties of custom shop, which is really cool. Like, I've never seen anyone do this before. I think that's a very, very cool addition to the game. And if you wanted to build, shave or die, that seems a bit much. If you wanted to build a Jurassic Park, or even a JPOG, we did a JPOG Park build back in Jurassic World Evolution 1. How amazing would this mod have been for that? Now that's just JPOG Buildings. There is also JPOG Rides, and that adds 2 new rides to the game. So the first one is over here. That's our balloon tour, as you can see. And I think we should be able to... I'm not going to be able to drive it, are we? But you can see the balloons over here. You kind of put down the track like you would with anything else, and the balloons will do their thing. Now, Sir Zero John, who made both of these mods, has added balloon tours in the past. It seems to have stopped temporarily. They do work. They do fly around. They've added these in the past, but of course now it's, you know, JPOG themed. We've got those bright JPOG colours, and design on this is very JPOG as well. It's very, very cool stuff. And to boot, we also have the JPOG Classic Tour, the Safari building down here, and that's going to send out our cars, of which, again, there are none at the moment because the game hates me right now. There we go. So I just put this down again, and it's worked. And as you can see, there's our JPOG style Safari cars. We've got our low quality textures in there. Oh god, calm down. V-Rex, no! V-Rex, leave them alone. I assume we usually can't ride these, no. With the modded attractions, but still just... Oh no, the reindeer. Still just very, very cool. Have that retro JPOG kind of style, and yeah, definitely makes me want to build another JPOG style park. So a ton of decorations, a ton of attractions, and really just everything you could want to make a JPOG style park. Use some JPOG style dinosaurs and make something really cool. So shout out to Sir Zero John for this fantastic mod. Okay, it's time for our next new species. It's Zang Tyrannus. This calm down, V-Rex. This absolute beauty is by Hassan Wickertree, and looks really, really good. I love these little details we've got here, like this little nodule down here as well. This lovely striping of sort of varied colour. It's kind of got this impression of feathering without actually meaning to be feathered, I think. But I really like the coloration. I really like the patterning, especially along the face. We've got these little sprouts of colour dotted along there as well. It's just another really cool looking Tyrannosaurid that blends really nicely into the game. This skin colour in particular I think looks fantastic. Really interesting sort of dappled underbelly, which is pretty unique as well. Can I recommend you stay away from the large pink V-Rex though? Seems like a good idea. Now, Zang Tyrannus is a Tyrannosaurid from late Cretaceous China, very similar in size and morphology to Tarbosaurus. Zang did need to be a large, powerful dinosaur. You know, it's not as big as Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it's up there, and it needed to be large and powerful because its prey was pretty tough. It lived with ankylosaurs like Nanuksaurus, which was a new dinosaur for me, and likely, not confirmed, but they found hadrosaur remains that resemble Shantungosaurus, which of course is renowned for being absolutely goddamn gigantic. So it would have taken something special to take down a Shantung, maybe pack hunting, or you would probably target the sick and the young. Yeah, very cool new Tyrannosaurid to add to the game. Really like this patterning. I think the shaping on these stripes is really interesting and evocative. We're not done quite yet though. Next up we have a Nanuksaurus, a new species. So this is also by Hassan Wickertree, and there is a less feathered and a slightly crazier prehistoric planet variant. You're looking here at the prehistoric planet variant. The other one has much tamer feathering along the back, but it still has this lovely droopy tail feather fan thing drooping down at the very end of the tail there. I think I prefer the prehistoric planet version. It's kind of got very much classic American president cheek puffs of feathers there, which I'm a little bit less convinced on. I mean, perfectly viable, I'm sure, but they look a bit weird. But otherwise, very, very cool looking. Again, looks like the prehistoric planet Nanuksaurus, which is a very popular design. Those really evocative bright stripes of white against the very dark, muddy sort of crimson coloration we've got going on there. It looks really cool in that full feathering. The Nanuksaurus, of course, well known for living in frigid temperatures and likely would have had that full feathering to keep itself relatively warm. Will you calm down so I can show you off to YouTube? But yeah, the feathering looks really good. I really like that tail fan in particular, drooping down there at the back. That strong striping and that prehistoric themed face. And as I say, there is a Hassan Wickertree version of this dinosaur if you want to check that out as well. So you get a little bit of variety, all contained in one mod. 2 different body morphs within a single mod, which is always pretty cool to see. And yeah, it looks really good. Just another Nanuksaurus, one of my favorite dinosaurs, so always cool to see it come to life. Right, our final, not new species, but a cosmetic this time is Conunator. And here we have, of course, Conunator by Jagged Fang Designs. They've started to finally re-release their dinosaurs and their new cosmetics and stuff like that. And this Concav is indeed a new cosmetic for the Conunator. So I should mention, for any dinosaur that you've seen here that is a cosmetic for an existing dinosaur, like the Conunator, you know, from the recent Cretaceous Predators pack, you will need to buy the Cretaceous Predators DLC before you get access to this dinosaur. I don't know if we've written it down anywhere, but there's kind of an unwritten rule and kind of ethos in the modding community that no dinosaurs are added to the game that you could get in a DLC, basically. So no one's going to make a standalone Concavenator for Jurassic World Evolution 2 because it should feel a little collaborative with Frontier, and that you should buy the DLC and support the game, and then you can get cosmetics for it if you want it. But modding shouldn't be an alternative to buying the DLC, because I think that's how you piss off a developer, very understandably. So this is, I think, a nice medium point. And as usual with Jaggifying Designs, this stuff is pretty remarkable, very paleo accurate. If you could go, oh my god, oh wow, I love that I can run through that. That's very cool. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I've talked about this one, of course, in the past a couple of times. I don't want to spend too long doing so. If it would just calm down, that would be great, but it's bounding around. Again, JFD, the modeling, the rigging, and the coloration and the pattern work is just the best in the game. Like, nobody's better for pattern work in particular, in my opinion, than Jaggifying Designs. I love how they're spotting gradually, so you see it sort of spreading out as it turns into the stripes, which then get, you know, a little bit thicker with the stroking there, and the blue comes in, and then the blue fades away, and it sparks up a little bit there on the front of the hump, which is quite different. The back of the hump, which is kind of more down this way, is, I think, quite a little bit further back than it is in the Frontier version. We've got that pulled back crest that almost blends in with the skull, and then this lovely coloration, that really, all these browns and reds kind of blending together in this milieu of wonderful warm colours. It's a gorgeous dinosaur. This is the male version. You've also got a female version, so we've got some lovely sexual dimorphism there, and this one, of course, has a little bit tamer in the coloration, but it's got these bursts of orange going through the stripes as well. Just, yeah, really cool to see Jaggifying Designs bringing their stuff out again, because they always absolutely smash it out of the park. Right, still not done, folks. One more mod to check out. MaxFears23 has been bringing out some of the very best mods in the game. We've seen the perching points for the pterosaurs. We saw the kelp for the lagoon last week, and our lagoons just got even better because they've now brought out a lagoon. Oh wait. Before I do that, I had text about Nanuksaurus. Let me do my text. Nanuksaurus, the polar bear lizard, a Tyrannosaurine from Lake Cretaceous, Alaska. Now, we've talked about Nanuksaurus plenty, but I just wanted to talk about Tyrannosaurine when we called Zang Tyrannus Tyrannosaurid. So note that I said Tyrannosaurid for Zang Tyrannus, Tyrannosaurine for Nanuksaurus. That's really just because whoever's editing these Wikipedia articles hasn't decided on a consistent choice. They should both probably say the same thing, as far as I can tell. All members of Tyrannosaurinae, as in the Tyrannosaurines, are also members of Tyrannosauridae. Tyrannosauridae is the larger of the groups, and it contains Tyrannosaurinae. So both Nanuksaurus and Zang are Tyrannosaurinae and Tyrannosauridae. However, it's kind of like, you know, not all dogs, all Labradors are dogs, but not all dogs are Labradors. It's the same kind of deal. All Tyrannosaurinae are Tyrannosauridae, but not all Tyrannosauridae are Tyrannosaurinae, because the Albertosaurids, Albertosaurus and Gorgosaurus, are both Tyrannosaurids, but they're in a different subfamily. So if you imagine Tyrannosauridae splits into Tyrannosaurinae and Albertosaurinae. And Albertosaurinae contains the Albertosaurus and the Gorgosaurus, and Tyrannosaurinae contains all the others that you would expect from Tyrannosaurids. Does that make sense? I hope that's correct. I think that's correct. I just find that kind of thing interesting. Anyway, MaxFears, mods. Let's go over here. Very exciting stuff, because not only do we now have kelp, but we've got some brand new decorations. Let's head into the water and have a little look. Beautiful. So they've added a bunch of new lagoon decorations. We've got this big coral rock wall, and yeah, I don't know if they've been paying attention to what I've been saying, but the lagoons, as I've been saying for ages, have lacked verticality more than anything else. And MaxFears is definitely taking that approach. We've got these gigantic coral rock walls here. Again, we've got all the fish swimming around as well, which is really cool. A much needed dose of verticality. We've got these rocks over here. There's much more elaborate sort of rock formations in the water. We've got a whale skeleton, which is really cool. Very detailed, nicely realistic whale skeleton that blends right in with the ground really nicely as well. And then we've got some ruins over here. This is two pieces I've stuck together, but the ruins like this, ancient Atlantic kind of ruins under the water. And then you've got these smaller individual rock pieces, which kind of look like a bad dragon, if we're totally honest. But that's okay. And then we've got an even smaller one over here, which also looks like a bad dragon. But I think that's just the nature of the thing. And I'll just show you these in the decoration tab. Are you let me in the water? You've been very finicky. Oh, no, you're not going. Nope, you're not going in the water. In we go. There we go. Decorations. We go down to our lagoon. And as you can see, we have them all here. So we've got a coral reef. We've got a rock arch, we've got a rock pillar 1, a rock pillar 2, a whale skeleton, and the underwater ruins. And, you know, you can combine these, of course, with the kelp. The kelp mod, I believe, has updated as well. I haven't included that in this video, but I believe there's some comments about how if you have loads of decorations, especially if your PC's not that strong or you're on the older consoles, or I think even the newer consoles, loads of decorations can lag your game quite badly. So I believe what they've done is they've added a version of the kelp that's like a huge collection of kelp in a single decoration, just so you can plonk it all down in one, and you'll have to use less decorations to fill in your lagoons, and that should be better for the stability of your park. So that's really cool to see changes like that. But you can combine them and just make these really... I mean, look, that lagoon just looks 1,000... I mean, okay, I've been a bit... I've just kind of shoved it all everywhere, as I am kind of prone to doing. But, yeah, very cool. It just... It looks like a giant aquarium. You know, it's the kind of thing you would put in your aquarium at home. And now it's scaled up, and it's perfect size for our lagoon creatures. And let me grab one of those so we can check that out. Where's our Mosasaurus? There it is. This is my #1 request for Jurassic World Evolution 2, to have these officially. It really is, because they just work so cool. The lagoons look so much better. They look so much more interesting. And MaxV says on their page, although it's not absolutely perfect, understandably, that the marine creatures will avoid the larger decorations. They won't swim through the larger decorations. There are hitboxes there that the creatures are detecting. They're saying it's not absolutely perfect, which I think is very understandable. But it's very cool that they avoid them at all, you know? And that really does paint it again as a viable idea that Frontier could possibly include in the game. And I really hope they do, because I think this is the one thing the Lagoons need. This and a tour. A tour would be lovely, but this is the one thing they need more than anything else. And actually, this and a tour you'd feel is fairly incompatible, because, well, I think you'd have to have a tour very much like at the very top of the water or underground entirely. Because otherwise, how is a tour going to go through decorations like this? I think that'd be quite tough to do, so that's understandable. But either way, I think I think it's hard to deny. It looks very, very cool. And this kind of verticality and variety in the lagoons is something they've been crying out for. It is worth crediting Frontier that we did get a bunch of really cool lagoon decorations. We just need ones with a bit of height to them now. And that is Lagoon Decorations by MaxVS23. So, big chunky video today, 11 fantastic mods. Again, these will all be linked down below in the Google document as per usual. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. We'll be back this week, of course, with our park build. We're going to start Prehistoric Kingdom soon as well, probably in streams. I'm not totally sure about that, but we're going to do Prehistoric Kingdom, we're going to do park build. I am working on Planet Zoo, just so you know. It's going to take a lot of time. It's a big old build, and you know, I'm not exactly rushing my way through it. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but I am working actively on Planet Zoo, and I've recorded about 5 hours of the first build of that for those of you who want to watch that. And yeah, really, really, really cool stuff. I hope you've really enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider throwing me a like, and of course, go give these mod makers all the love in the world, because it's very much deserved over on the Nexus. Thanks for joining me, folks. Cheers much of as always. Bye-bye.